Hi, I'm Linda Pineacre, psychic medium and author, and tonight's live event is Being on the Other Side. So I'll be talking about what it's like on the other side. Thanks to any of you who join me. Please make sure you add your name and let me know where you're from. Thanks. When I connect with clients' loved ones, I sometimes see a vision of other loved ones in spirit who are with them. And quite often it's a really large group. And this includes humans and animals. Even those who shared conflictual relationships while on Earth share loving relationships with each other after reuniting on the other side. They're aware that any conflict they experienced was part of the contracts they agreed to share when they negotiated what their life lessons would be. And I know quite often when I'm doing readings, people are quite floored to find out that a divorced couple, for example, is standing there side by side, arm in arm. But that's just the way it is. We come to Earth to evolve, and one of the ways we do that is through hardship. So, for example, they may have agreed to share an abusive relationship, but once they're on the other side, they experience only unconditional love toward each other. Our loved ones are aware of everything that they've said or done and how it's affected others. And when they have the opportunity, they may apologize for their behavior, and their apologies are genuine. It doesn't matter how difficult or mean they were when they were here. Once they're on the other side, that is no longer who they are. Even though your loved one may have been harsh or even abusive, their personality and behavior was part of the contract the two of you agreed to share together prior to incarnating. They're non-judgmental towards others, so they're forgiving about anything you've done that may have been hurtful. They are also aware of what you're currently experiencing, but you have their total approval, as they understand that everything you're doing right now is related to your life lessons and your contracts. They won't do anything to interfere with your life lessons or contracts. They might be able to help some parts that go more smoothly, but they won't interfere with the purpose of the life lesson or the contract. Our loved ones may show visions of themselves in their bodies to make it easier for us to relate to them, but they're no longer trapped in a body. Instead, they are free-flowing energy. And because they don't have bodies, they're always pain-free, happy, and content. Even though they can see what we're struggling with down here, they're still happy and content because they know this is what you signed up for. Hi, Patty. Thanks for joining. I'm sure that the other side is more beautiful than we can conceptualize. I woke to fog one morning and I asked Jo, one of my healing spirit guides, whether she ever chose to be in the fog or in the dark. And she seemed puzzled that I would ask. And she showed me an image of brilliant sunlight. It was like nothing I'd ever seen. And I kind of thought to myself, well, why would she choose to be in the dark when she's able to experience sunlight that I'm sure is even more magnificent than the image that I saw? Spirits are like snowflakes. There are no two alike. They each have their own energy, and although they may have some similarities, each one has its own individual characteristics, which may be recognized by your soul. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Tony. Thanks for joining. Following reincarnation, their spirit energy remains available on the astral plane, and this enables us to continue to connect with them. I know for the longest time I thought, wow, that's weird. Like, how come every spirit that I asked to come always shows up? I started even actually wonder, well, are people not reincarnated anymore? And then I started learning about astral planes and how, a lot of what's happening now has already happened in the future, and how all those different time elements are available on different planes. And then it made sense to me, and I realized it's because their energy is available on all of those. And I remembered having one woman ask me about her sister who'd passed on. And her mom, we were connected with her mom who passed on, and her mom explained that her sister had reincarnated. She was in her body in Saskatchewan, but her hair was brown now instead of blonde. And this girl was only like a few years apart from the woman that I was speaking with at the time, and so that really got me thinking. But it's because of the astral planes and the different time shifts that we have. They may connect with more than one person at once, and they may be in several places at the same time, including different astral plane areas. Thanks, Jennifer. Oh, Jennifer says hi to everybody. You don't need to see them in a vision to know they're present. A lot of people think that, mediums always see the vision. We don't, unless we choose to, or they just decide to show it. And it's the same for you. And even with your spirit guides, when they come, they don't always show themselves, but you can use all of your senses to sense their presence. And that can be sight, hearing, smell, taste, or feeling. And I think the one that's most commonly experienced by us is feeling. Like we may just feel like their presence is here. And just try not to doubt that. It's real. Things that may be important to them when they were in their bodies are no longer important to them. For example, your loved one may have wanted to be cremated and have their ashes spread in a certain place. But after passing, the only thing they want you to do to memorialize them is whatever is most important to you and others who love them. They just don't care about material things anymore. Hi, Darren. If your loved one is insistent that you keep the family home, it's no longer relevant after passing. They just want you to do whatever fits best for you. And I quite often will get people say, well, are they upset that I sold the house? Or are they upset that I gave the truck to Tony? They don't care. They just want you to do whatever fits for you. Our loved ones are also able to connect with us at the time of passing. One man told me that he was in a different country when his mother passed, but his mother's spirit woke him up at 5:20 in the morning to let him know how much she loved him. And his father later told him that that was the exact time his mother had passed on. Another woman shared a really lovely story with me for one of my books. She wrote that her mother connects with her often, but the first was at the time of her passing. She was calm and was telling her mother that although they would miss her, it was okay for her to pass, and she was giving her permission to let go. And she felt a warm rush of air or a stream of lightness pass through her mother, through her heart, from her mother through her heart and up and over her left shoulder. And she actually felt her mother's spirit leave the room. Her mother took her last breath and was gone. And she knew immediately that exactly what she had experienced. She didn't talk about it much because she didn't think we would believe her. And she explained that she was a cop for 24 years and she was used to dealing only with the facts, not feelings. But she later attended the memorial service of a close family friend who was like an uncle to her. And some of his family members took turns speaking at his memorial service. One of the grandsons, who was 12, described being in the room with his family at the time of his grandfather's death. He said that he felt a warm rush of air go through his heart when his grandfather died and left the room. He felt honored that his grandfather chose his heart to leave this world through. Well, the woman that was the cop that was at that memorial service just looked at her husband with shock because this boy had used the same words and felt and experienced the same as she had. She couldn't wait to share her experiences with him, and he was relieved and confirmed what he had felt. He said he'd asked his family members whether they had felt his grandfather leave also, and none of them had felt anything. After sharing their experiences, the woman and the boy just embraced each other and cried. They were so touched, and it was just so validating to them. Hi, Laura. Thanks for joining. Oh, Tony said that's a beautiful story. Thanks, Tony. It's a common belief that loved ones need time to adjust to having passed, but many loved ones connect soon after passing. I actually haven't seen any evidence that they need time to adjust. A young girl attended one of my workshops, and during one of the exercises, her aunt who had passed that morning connected with her and shared a message. It was funny because when she shared it with the group, everybody's floored. They're like, "Your aunt passed this morning, and you're here at this class." And she just said, "Well, I knew my aunt would understand. It was really important to me to be here." And I felt complimented that she'd come. My mother connected one of my sisters and I almost immediately after passing. As soon as I received the call from the care center telling me that she'd passed on, I called my twin sister, Karen. And we lived in Vancouver Island, but my mom was in Calgary at the time of her passing. And before Karen and I had a chance to say goodbye on the phone, the call terminated. And I'd been on my way to meet with her anyway at a nearby walking trail when I received the call. So I didn't call Karen to finish the conversation. And when I met with her shortly afterwards, she told me that when the call terminated, she suddenly realized her Heather was on the line. So she apparently said to Heather, "I can't believe you called me right now." And Karen said she was really surprised when Heather said, "I didn't call you, you called me." And when she relayed this story to me, I immediately received an intuitive message from our father, who passed on 10 years earlier. And he said he had connected them by phone. You know, that wasn't the first time he ever connected people by phone, because he used to do it with my twin sister quite often. He wanted to get a message to her and she wasn't getting it, or, you know, something like that. Anyway, as we talked about Mom as we were walking down the trail, we became aware of her presence. And she acknowledged that she had sometimes been difficult. And she said, "Thank you, girls, for everything you did for me." And she sent us so much love, that we were really touched by that. And all that would have happened, you know, maybe within 20 minutes of her having passed. So they really don't need a lot of time. Spirits on the other side appreciate the opportunity to connect with you. And no matter what relationship you shared, once they're on the other side, they experience only unconditional love. Even if you don't realize it, they are trying to connect with you. They're bringing you signs, and they're trying to help you to become aware of their presence, so that they may reassure you that they're well and you're not alone. I know this is a short evening. I really don't like to drag these out. I like to cover what I think is relevant to the topic. So I'm actually done. If you'd like to develop your ability to connect with your loved ones in spirit, you may attend my Discover Your Intuitive Self workshop. It's on Saturday, November 30th from 1 to 4 p.m. Registration is limited to 6 people, and the early bird discount is $95 if you register by November 20th. If you want more information, you can go to my Facebook page in the events section, or you can go to my website at www.lindapinacre.com. The whole schedule and everything of what we'll be doing in the classes on my website. So the next event is Exploring Life Lessons, and it's on Facebook, November 13th, Wednesday, 6:00 p.m. Pacific time. And as usual, it's free. And it's on the Linda Pineacre Spirit Communications page. Thanks for joining me. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening.